As predicted first on this channel, the push to get your second stimulus checks out by a new vote is underway today, and is also predicted, sadly, the stock market is crashing, which caused a massive rush in San Francisco for one item. $12 ice cream. The Temple of Doom immediately saw the talking market crashing, rushed and tried to get her $12 ice cream before it sells out because, that there's always a rush for something like that when there's an economic downturn. What do you think is the flavor of her ice cream du jour that she likes? Chuck Schumer? Nutty Buddy? At this point, whatever floats her boat, but get ready, honey, because we're ready for a rocky road. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE with incredible great news for your second stimulus check and stimulus package update for Monday afternoon as the push is underway to get your second stimulus check done by bill that has a deadline of October 1st that actually works in your favor as the airlines push for bailout, and their bailout deadline is helping anchor you to the finish line as bipartisan support is pushing for a vote this week despite whatever the Temple of Doom or super conservative Republicans are up for. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so happy you're here, and your dog and your cat and your dragon, your llama, your alpaca. As always, go to the front channel, subscribe. There's a reason to subscribe. This is the most watched stimulus channel on the planet. This morning's broadcast alone was breaking all records. The most watched video of this channel ever in the first hour and a half. It's up to 20,000 likes almost, I think, as well. So thank you as well. Also like this video because it helps with the algorithm. This is our 2-hour programming block starting every day at 3:30. Coming right up after this video in half an hour is a video about hazard pay. You have to tune in for that as well. For essential workers, that $10,000 item. Next is unemployment. If you have questions about your unemployment assistance, I'll be answering your questions on air. That's 30 minutes after hazard pay. And finally, rent. 30 minutes after that. Big updates about eviction moratoriums and mortgage forbearance. All right, let's get to the incredible great news about your second stimulus check. The power of the purple power, with now 264,000 subscribers, pushed the envelope and continues to push the envelope in incredible means as Republicans and Democrats who are moderates are pushing for a vote on your second stimulus check and stimulus package this week. There's a deadline, and that deadline is October 1st, and the deadline is looming because of an airline federal law that they have to comply with. This is amid a progress that has really sort of twisted and turned. In this video, I'll be going over a couple things first for you. One, I will be going over brand new economic news just this afternoon. It's not good. This is amidst the stock market crashing, as I predicted to you 2 days ago. Second, I will be going over a new twist. Oh God, I can't believe I'm even saying this. A fear of the government shutdown once again. Yes. And then finally, I will be going over some of the reaction to what Temple of Doom said earlier today. Finally, I'll be answering some of your incredible 1,900 questions, 2,000 questions in a video that was watched by 100,000 people yesterday. All right, let's get to the incredible details. The second stimulus check is part of the second stimulus package, and that package is getting pushed to the finish line by you because of moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans who want the vote right now, and they want the vote to be anchored on the problem solvers bill. They want the vote done now, and they need to get the vote done by October 1st. October 1st would be the president signing the bill. This is breaking news that I detailed for you the first time over this weekend, and I have more details about it right now. The timeline is so critical and has to be complied with. If it's not, more economic downturn and catastrophe will erupt on October 2nd. Let me get to the incredible details right now and starting right this minute. First, The vote is critical, and the vote is being anchored by your push of the Purple Power on social media, by tagging the Blue Dogs, tagging tagging the problem solvers, and tagging the New Age Democrats, and also tagging anyone who's up for re-election, and saying, get this bill voted upon. What is the bill? We now know today the bill will be the problem solvers bill ramped up. Let me go over the timeline issue first, then we'll go over the bill and its provisions and stimulus check amounts, and then we'll go over routing times, and then finally we're going to go over everything else I said is going to come up later in this broadcast. All right, first the bill. It is now apparent that the bill that will be voted upon is the problem solvers bill modified. This was what was called upon by Republican and Democrats in the Senate and the House over the weekend and late last week. There was also the option of the HEROES Act Light, a reduced version of the HEROES Act. Well, now, a lot of those people don't want to touch it, so good, stay over there. We're not going to touch it. We'll use the problem solvers bill. That's the first thing. The second thing is the timing, this timeline. Let me explain to you what this timeline means. And before I get to it, here's the disclaimers. First, this is the statements made by congressional leaders to us. They have lied to us before, and they may be lying about this as well. So we're going off of their representations. I'm reporting to you what their representations are, but they may ultimately not stay true to their form as they've done before. Second, the timeline is dependent upon one event not occurring, and this event you absolutely categorically don't want. The president doing airline bailouts by executive order. Oh my God, you just don't want that to happen. That would be absolutely not good news. Third, the timelines that we have that follow thereafter are based upon representations by Steve Mnuchin. All right, let me get right to the details. There is a bailout problem, and the problem has a deadline of October 1st. What is it? Airlines, the airline industry, it's a major part of the U.S. economy. It cannot go under. It cannot collapse. If it collapses, a lot of other things collapse. It's part of what's called the transports, part of the general index of the American economy, and you can't have the entire industry of transports hit by a collapse of the airline industry. Why would they collapse? They would collapse because on October 1st, they would have to lay off a major segment of their employees. Why do they have to do it on October 1st? Because of a federal law. The federal law requires them to make a decision about furloughed employees. They put those employees weeks ago onto furlough based upon a determination that they were going to make on October 1st to either hire them back or fire them permanently. By federal law, they have to make that decision by October 1st. And so this is a very serious deadline. They don't want to fire the people, but they have to make the decision on October 1st. They can't wait longer because there's a federal law providing that they have to make the decision by that date under furlough rules. All right, well, would they fire them? Absolutely yes. In a letter obtained by LALATE, which I detailed over the weekend from United Airlines, was among many letters that said, hey, we're down 85% year to date on our earnings. We can't keep them on staff. We need a bailout. And we need $25 billion, and we need that bailout to go in the second stimulus package, and we need it because we can't fire these employees. It would absolutely be catastrophic. It would implode the industry. It would destroy livelihoods of millions of American families, and it would actually cause a domino effect across other segments that are dependent upon airlines as well. That was that. Immediately thereafter, Republicans and Democrats came out and said, yes, I support this issue. I want to put this in the second stimulus package because it's not in the stimulus package. I want to put it in there. This was very great news for you because suddenly the addition of airlines to a stimulus package where you are in with your stimulus checks, your enhanced unemployment benefits, your food, your rent, all those things are in this box. Suddenly airlines were jumping in it, but airlines had a deadline. October 1st. All these other things which you've been waiting for dramatically for weeks and months, that some people who don't care about you have never thought that you have a deadline, now realize there's a deadline for airlines. And so the good news is that suddenly the airlines problem is anchoring the rest of the package to the finish line by a deadline of October 1st. So by that issue, suddenly we have to get things done by October 1st. And what does that mean? The president has to sign it into law on October 1st. He has to literally sign the bill into law on October 1st in the White House. Well, to get that way, you have to have things happen the 2 days before. The day before it, September 30th, it has to be voted and approved by the House. The day before that, it has to be voted and approved by the Senate. So September 29th and September 30th, Senate, House, then October 1st, the President. Let me explain a couple things. One, these are the final days. You could do them earlier than that. A lot of great questions from viewers over earlier today said, hey, can we do it earlier? Absolutely, you can do it earlier. Those are the final days. Next, what if this doesn't, what if we don't do this? Then everything goes, go into the bomb shelter because everything's going to go absolutely horrible. You have to get the airlines the bailout. So this is incredibly great news. And so what happened actually over the weekend, and this is also great news, is that North Carolina, South Carolina, Republicans and Democrats were on the phone talking to each other saying, hey, when are we going to get this done with the stimulus package for the airlines? With the airlines in it. They actually believe it's happening. It's not like they're preparing to do something. They actually think it's going to happen, and I do too. So this is incredibly great news. All right, let's go to the details, the check amount. The problem solvers bill has something for check, it has something for FPUC, it has something for rent. I'm going to tell you what I have done, and you can do what you think is best for you. What I have done is I have made a image, which I tweeted, and I'm going to tweet it again when this video goes live, that has 2 calendars on it, 2 months, September and October. And I say, here's the date you got to vote. You got to get this vote done, senators. Vote these days. But at the top of it, I say, these are the things that I think that need some revising. We need to do problem solvers bill, which is everyone is agreeing upon, plus something else, which is airlines and maybe more stuff. But I think you need to make some revisions. Among the revisions I think you need to make is $10,000 EIDL grant needs to be done. EIDL loan needs to be done, higher amounts, but then changes for grant for the check. So the problem solvers check is $1,200 individual, married couples $2,400. That's all fine. We're all good with that. The next issue I'm not good with is dependents $500, whether adult or minor. Now that's great. They want to pay a check to adults and minors, which they did not in the first stimulus round. If you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or Railroad benefits, you did not get a check in the first round because the first round said we're not paying a check to adult dependents. This time they're saying they will pay a check. But $500? No. No. I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, you were owed a check the first time, you didn't get a check, and now you're getting a watered down check of $500 instead of $1,200. No. I think everyone should get $1,200. Minors, adults, married couple, $2,400. Everyone should be $1,200. That's my opinion. If you agree with me, which I think you do, then that's certainly an image for you to use and share and tweet and tag everyone about it. The next thing is I think the household should be about 5 people. These are both Democrats' standing points when I'm talking about the $1,200 and the 5 people. 5 people, we mean 5 times $1,200, $6,000. So if you're a married couple and you have 3 kids, that would be a family of 5. If you're a single mom with 4 kids, that would be a family of 5. So the single mom with 4 kids would get a check for $6,000, 5 times $1,200. Next would not be taken out for child support. I think that's also important. But at this point, it does not look like it's taken out for child support and not taken out for collections. That does not mean you can't recoup for child support on a local jurisdiction. Next, let's turn to FPUC. So FPUC, which I'm going to cover an hour from now. You got to tune into that video as well. FPUC has some revisions that needs to be done. It's $450 a week for 8 weeks and 5 weeks for $600, which is insanely good. It's insanely good. I mean, no Republican's ever going to give you that, anything better than that. I think that is very, very good. What's not good is the retroactive. We all know that this is not, I was going to use a bad word. It's not good that it's not retroactive. It has to be retroactive. Come on now. Their plan is to start it in October. That means several weeks you go without benefits. It means people on LW who did not get on LWA because of that threshold problem never get enhanced unemployment benefits for the months of August and September. No. People are going to lose out on almost 8 weeks of benefits. That's not good. All right, so that's the bill. That's the terms of the bill. What's the routing time? Okay, now let's focus. Pay attention to the words I'm saying and don't hear a different version of what I'm saying. Steve Mnuchin represents that Treasury can send you the check and have it in your hand electronically 10 days after something becomes law. That's his representation, not mine, okay? So he's representing that for many, 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 many weeks. And that's also been verified by other third parties who said that they're very good and quick on their rounding times. If that is true, 10 days plus October 1st is October 11th, which is a weekend. I know that. So then October 12th, October 13th. Again, I'm not saying you're getting a check on October 12th. So don't come back to me tomorrow and say, you said I'm getting a check on October. No, I did not say you're getting a check on October 12th or October 11th. What I said is that Steve Mnuchin says it takes 10 days to get it after the president signs into law. Well, the deadline for the president to sign into law is October 1st. And 10 days after that is October 11th. I'm just doing math for you because Larry Kudlow doesn't do it very well at all. All right, let's get to the next twists and turns as we sit here Monday afternoon. Economic data is very scary. And scary economic data actually helps you get your second stimulus checks. I know this sounds very sort of basic, but I want to make it basic for you. And it may sound a little shady, but it is shady. Congressmen are a bunch of rich people that don't do much but go to lunch and look at what their stock portfolio looks like. Well, when the stock market crashes, they get a little antsy. It rhymes with Nancy. Because their stocks went down. Oh, petty. How sad their stocks went down. Well, today their stocks are really down. Everyone's stocks are down about 7% because the entire U.S. stock market is about down 7 to 15%. This is more reason to have the people who are trying to get you the vote rush to vote, because suddenly, while they may be sitting back and saying negative things about you, which you don't care about, but they, some of them do say negative. Oh, get to work, and you're lazy, and you're this and that. Well, suddenly they're losing money because there's no stimulus in the economy. All the economic data today says that the economy is down, that the stock market is down for three major reasons. One, Britain is going back on lockdown potentially, as France and Spain have out of control COVID-19 cases, and France is at full ICU capacity. It's very serious there, folks. Two, the economists have said enough is enough. There's no more stimulus in this economy. The economy is going to tank. I told you the stock market was going to crash last week. And so they're saying you can't keep on doing this with no stimulus. Three, China-U.S. trade tensions, which is sort of not that big of an issue because it's sort of neither here nor there. It's that TikTok stuff. And finally, concerned about RBG chatter and that is not the issue. But there's a new one this afternoon. That one's coming up. The shutdown of the government. Lord, I did not want to have to go there, but I do. All right, so economics. The economic numbers are not good. The CBOE, Market Volatility Index, VIX, which talks about investor anxiety level, is not good. Analysts say the chance for a national fiscal stimulus package is what's causing investor anxiety, which is what the VIX looks at. It's at the highest level in nearly 2 weeks. Quote, it just kind of crowds out the agenda, the idea that we're going to a fiscal stimulus package before election, says Ed Campbell. There's just an general election jitters, and that's possibly why we have a delay. All right, that's the first thing. Next, this is the one I just never saw coming. Remember how Steve Mnuchin met with Pelosi to do the government shutdown agreement, and that we wouldn't be talking about a government shutdown, we'd be just focused on stimulus check in the month of September? Yeah, you remember that? I do too. Well, guess what? They're not agreeing on it. Oh my God. So suddenly stimulus does not only have to battle with Supreme Court justice nominees and lobster and pot. Now we have to deal with government shutdown. Yeah, this is why you're so important, Purple Power. On Monday, the House Democrats, Temple Doom, released a bill to prevent the government from shutdown. And guess who slammed it immediately? All Republicans. They said it has no money in there for farmers, and farmers going hungry. Farmers going hungry is what the Republicans said. Let's just say, I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but it basically said, hey, I'm not agreeing to this. We got a problem. And a problem is not a good thing. So now we have a potential shutdown of the U.S. government on September 30th. Oh, that happens to be one day before the vote on your stimulus package. Who keeps you up to date with the timelines? Timelines are everything. Okay. Temple Doom spoke today. Do we care what she said? No. But this is among pettiest of petty. She said that all that the president wants to do is get the check out with his name on it, and we can't have that happen. One thing I don't cover on this channel, because I think it's so petty, is that under the HEROES Act, there's actually a provision she put in there, the Temple Doom, that says the second stimulus checks cannot have President Donald Trump's names on them. I'm not kidding. It's actually a provision of the HEROES Act. And so she went out and said today that, well, all he wants to do is send out some checks with his name on it. Honey, at this point, if Homer Simpson's name was on the check, I would cut fucking cash. I was like, who cares at this point? It was like, are we really doing this? Okay, so let me get to some of your 2,000 comments from yesterday's video. Jeremiah, it's unfortunate that she takes the airlines failing out to pass this, but so be it. Barbara, LALATE never said we're getting the checks tomorrow. Stop twisting his words. He's only guys on what to do with our checks. Thank you, LALATE. Barbara Perez, yes. There's some viewers that said, are we getting the checks tomorrow? And I use the Jetsons scenario, or I Dream of Jeannie, or Star Trek. The checks are coming tomorrow. Poof. It's like, I can't even get ice cream that fast, whether it's $12 ice cream or cheap ice cream. Nothing materializes in 25 seconds. John White, they need to just quit messing around and send us out the checks. Amen. Joshua Baker, staying positive does heap people. Tina Mathers, I don't care about the airlines. If they go bust, perhaps Congress won't be able to take so many vacations. Yeah, you do want to care about the airlines, Tina, because they're the ones getting you to the finish line. They have lobbyists. They're very powerful lobbyists. They're pushing an October 1st deadline. No one is fighting for you. There's no lobbyists for the American people, except us. And so you absolutely want to be anchored by a bunch of people who are trying to push us all to the finish line. See, Okoma, I feel like we're living in a third world. Amen. Denise, so the airlines will be instrumental in flying our stimulus money to everybody, departing, arriving to 10/11. I love that. Denise Moose. James Holiday, the government has no clue how it's affected low income families. Corey Williams, it's not going to happen until October 1st. Remember, Nancy Pelosi said she's not entertaining anything. Okay, you notice how I just stopped reading the quote? We are not going to sit around. I've already discussed this before. We are not going to drop comments all week long about Temple. Nancy said this, Nancy said that, Temple Doom said this. Because ultimately, this is what the Republicans and Democrats all at the end of last week said. We are not having her determine our future. These are Democrats and Republicans who are up for re-election in both the House and the Senate. They say, you know what? She's going to implode our ability to be re-elected. Pamela, give every American citizen $20,000. Yeah, I hope that would be true. Gregory Williams, Trump's executive order to airlines and no stimulus, that's political suicide. It is. Adams knew him. All they're talking about in the Supreme Court seats, not true. Maxine Johnson, there are rumors that Trump's new FBI building has a private hair salon. I love that. If you have questions in today's video, drop in the comments below. I might feature them tomorrow's recording. Boy, this is going to be exciting. We are getting to the finish line. Your power of the purple is working. Be on Twitter and social media, Facebook, and tag your politicians. Share this video. Tell them seats for stimulus. Tell them you're not going to re-elect them unless they get the vote. Tell them get behind the people who are working in your favor. Ignore the negativity. Ignore the naysayers. Stay with the focus and stay on message. Go to the Furnace channel, subscribe. This community is growing very quickly because of the power of what we're doing as a family. We have the same focus in place. Also like this video because it's a darn good video. Coming up next is Hazard Pay. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay at LA for more.